Good afternoon, everyone. I had to wait for my cue to go, and it's go time. So please, if you're able to, rise and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now, if you would, see, he's telling me already. Today's agenda and the pledge and prayer. So now, if you would bow your heads and pray with me, since Chaplain Duke is out of town. Lord, thank you for bringing us together today to share valuable information, to give recommendations on ways that we can do things better together. Thank you for the health of all of us in this room, and for those that aren't able to be here, please watch over them closely. Take care of their needs and their families' needs. The team that's going to share information today, we are blessed to have take care of us and serve us, and we love serving all the residents here and those fellow team members that we work with. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. All righty, next one. So we're gonna have Julie come up, our Director of Sales, to give an update from the sales front.
Hello. Oh, I love you guys so much. I just look at all the faces and it just makes my heart burst. Anyway, we are adding to our family, which is awesome, on the regular. So I'm going to read a few of the names here, and we're going to get to know some of our new neighbors. Nick and Lee Baker, apartment 2427. They're originally they were in Crosswinds before they moved here, so please welcome them. Crosswinds, what did I say? Good Lord, see, I'm already messing up. Cresswinds, yes. All right, Al Snow, he's originally from Gainesville, so can you stand up? There's Al, I want to see him. Are the Bakers here? No? Okay. Al, welcome. You finally made it here. It only took you 6 months, but we got you. All right. This is an interesting couple of people. Philip and Nikki Mason, 1201, if you can stand, if you're here. They're from Cresswin. And Jim and Nancy Davidson, are you here? No? They are in 2421. Gary Palmer. Gary, are you here? No, he must have knew I was going to introduce him, so he hid. He's in apartment 1315. Great guy. He's originally from Oregon, I found out, because I moved from Oregon, so we had a lot to chat about. But he did move from the Gainesville area, so welcome him if you see him. And then I'm going to add, this isn't in the second quarter, she just recently moved in, but Harriet Briscoe. Harriet, are you here? No, I think she's shoveling out all of her boxes because I went to see her yesterday and I almost didn't find her, so we all know her pain, right? So she's in 2208, and she's from the Gainesville area, and she is a huge quilter. So if you are into quilting, look her up. She has beautiful quilts. She even made a quilting room that is amazing. So please go meet Harriet. We have, actually, that number is wrong because we keep getting checks. We just recently got checks today. That's all right. So anyway, I want to let you know we have that many households plus waiting to get into LVE. Yeah. Okay. If you volunteer for our events, stand up. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Wow. Let's give these people a hand of applause. And I know you help, so you didn't see him. Oh, okay. Therapy, we got a bad knee over here. Anyway, I want to thank these people because they really help make our events special. They check people in, they make all the information brochures for us. They give the tours, they talk to people. Even the people that come in for tours, I'll see residents stopping and talking to people, which just helps us and really makes things so much easier for you. But I wanted to just give you a rundown on our second quarter events. So we did have an April downsizing event. That went really well. Our events are running anywhere from 50 to 65 people coming in. So they're really well visited. I wanted to give a shout out. In May, we went to our conference. We had first place for the last 3 years. This year, we got second place, so we'll work harder, for the highest occupancy out of all 27 communities. So LaWanda, she helps me, she makes it happen, so stand up for LaWanda. She works hard. And then the June event, again, we had really well. I don't remember, but I think they give it to them because we get it every year, and I think they felt bad, so. But don't share that with anybody. So then the June event went really well. I'm looking forward to our people on our priority list meeting, our new executive director, Scott. We are very blessed. We are so pumped. The team is so happy to have him on board. He has really helped us. He is on point. He's doing a lot of great things for the community. So a great thank you to Scott. So thank you. All right. I want to host your groups. So I want to reach out to those people. I know you go off to all your little groups, your card groups, your old neighborhood, those types of things, and you tell the people about us. I want you to invite the groups in. For example, we're doing luncheons for people for the PEO group here. We want to have some luncheons for you. That way we can give tours and whatever else. But if you want your friends in these special groups to join us, get a hold of me. We would love to go out. I will speak at churches. I do a lot of outreach that way. If you have a church group that wants to come in and have like pancakes and praise, I can work that out. But let me know what I can do to reach the masses, because it's you folks giving us the referrals that are really making a difference in a lot of our new people coming in. So thank you very, very much. Is there any questions that you have for me or LaWanda in marketing and sales? We do about 46 tours a piece every 3 months. So if I could get a Segway or rollerblades to get around faster, that would be awesome. Special projects, keep that in mind. But anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you, Julie. Next up, we'll have Chad Whitehead, our restaurant manager.
Afternoon, everybody. So I'm sure you've all read the letter that went out Monday. So I wanted to come up here and kind of address it and hopefully simplify it for everybody. Let me get to the next one. So I've heard a lot of things that go along with it, and I want to start with, hopefully this will knock out 70% of the questions. You can have soup and salad. So hopefully that knocks out 70% and you're happy. You can have your soup and your salad too. That's fine. The new system is going to be very simple. It is really, you go to the host or register. I would like to go to the hot bar. Just like they would give you a number for if you ordered from the grill, they're going to give you a voucher. It's a little card this big. You take it, you go to your salad bar like you normally would. Once you go to the hot bar, here's my voucher. I'd like the chicken parm, some noodles, and my side. The end. That is that simple. It'll be a very smooth process. If you want to go to the next one. And again, why we're doing this is to accurately forecast how much food to make and charge fairly and correctly. So each meal credit includes a drink, soup, and salad, one entree, sides, and dessert. Additional entrees or items beyond this allowance will require the use of an extra meal credit or be subject to an a la carte charge of your choosing if you want to do either or. If you exhaust your allotted meals for the month, one per day if you're on that meal plan, then be aware that an $8.50 overcharge will appear on your statement for each extra meal. If you're unsure of the amount of your remaining meals credits you have, just ask at the host or register. Upstairs in Mountain View or downstairs, can you tell me how many meals I have left on my meal credit? And they'll tell you how many you have. I'm going to go over some frequently asked questions. Hopefully that answers some of the questions you might have. I order the salmon regularly, and I want vegetables from the hot bar. Will I be charged twice if I do this? No. We still want you to enjoy the vegetables from the hot bar. Just go up and be like, I would like my mixed vegetables or the rice. That's completely fine, or you can order at the register, and they'll put that on the salmon as well. We're not going to charge you an extra credit. We want you to enjoy those daily change sides. Does this mean I can't have ice cream and cookies? No. You can still have your ice creams and cookies at the same time. That's fine. I do not want soup or salad. Can I order 2 Reuben sandwiches? Unfortunately, no. Just like you would go to another restaurant and ask to substitute a side for entree, they would not do that. Similar to us, like, I'm sorry, that would cost an extra meal credit. I have extra meals and would like to order a pizza and go to the hot bar. Is this okay? Yes. You would just have to use 2 meal credits, and the register employee will give you a voucher and a number, the number for the pizza and the voucher for the hot bar. Are people trying to cheat the system for more food? Not necessarily. It could be communication issue between the register staff and the resident. This will hopefully take care of that, and there will be no miscommunication, and it'll be a lot more fair. Okay, if you want to go to the next one. Also, we had a health inspection. We got a 96. Very proud of our staff. Love that. We want 100s, but anywhere 92 and up, we're definitely going to take. It's a good score. This upcoming Monday, we're having a low country boil. Please come. It's going to be great food. We will also have a seafood-free entree as well if you still want to enjoy that. So don't let that deter you all from coming. It should be very fun. I'll also stay afterwards if you want to discuss anything more about the process. But does anybody have any questions right now? Got one. Very good.
To be doing anything. Oh, there I am. Okay, we never use up all of our meal credits. And I always assumed you all got that money that we pay every month for 30 meals, but you just didn't have to feed us those days. But somebody has told me that no, if we don't check in down there at the check-in, you all don't get credit for that meal. You don't get the money for that meal. Which I personally have thought about going down there and checking in and not getting any food. Because I want you all to get the money.
Appreciate that.
It seems to me that's...
But that is true, that if you have a 30 meal plan and you came 12 days a month, our department would use that credits for the 12 that you came. So, but that's also a big incentive for our department to want all of y'all to come and enjoy our food. So that incentivizes us to be like, let's have specials. We want all your business. That gives us more money for our budget and our food labor. And so, yeah, so that's why they do that, I assume, but that's correct. Any other questions?
So in the past, I've heard that you could have both entrees going through. You just told us that the extra entree would be an additional charge.
Correct. Now, what I'm hearing from a lot of people too is like, what if I wanted the little slice of the fish on the side? It's hard to get into little details like that because the whole game plan is make sure you have a great experience every time you go to Bistro, Mountain View. So the love and kindness comes in like give a little slice of that fish, that's fine. Like, but if you're asking for a whole nother entree, yes, that would be an extra meal credit if you wanted the sides, or you can pay that a la carte, which would be a bit cheaper than maybe a meal credit. But if you have leftover meal credits, maybe that's a great option for you. Or same if you want to use one for pizza. So yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Julie didn't have any questions. This is not fair.
Thank you. This may not be the right time to bring up this issue. If it's not, it's something I'd like to talk about at another time.
Okay.
I am an avid recycler, as are some other people here. We've had some conversations lately. A number of us are really concerned about the overuse of plastic in the bistro, particularly for people who are eating in the bistro but are being served in little plastic containers rather than on a plate.
Yes, ma'am, and that's fair, and I think we can do a lot better with that, and we should. We can definitely discuss that further. Yes, and we should do a better job of like advertising. We have the reusable containers, which we do. I hope you all know that. They're the green ones. You use them, you can bring them back, you just put it on the table outside of the bistro, and we wash them, and you get a new one. So that does help cut it down on our paper goods as well. So, but yes, we can do a lot more for that.
Chad, we got one here.
All right, just let him touch base now.
They're supposed to be asked, correct? Are you eating here or getting it to go? So
Correct.
You should be asked that every time.
Our staff should be asking you, like, is this for here to go? So that way, if it's to go, then they give you the paper, and if it's here, it should be on China.
They do usually ask, but sometimes before they even ask, they reach for the plastic. I think because so many people use it.
And that might be she was saying that, like, a lot of times they ask, but a lot of times they would go ahead and reach for the plastic. That's a training thing. Before I even came over here, they were very accustomed to doing a lot to go. Don't know if that came to COVID, so it's going to be a transition of like, and that's what we've been pushing the supervisors ask for here to go. China stays here, to go would go to the plastic, and we should have, which we have been having, the reusable on top too, so it's right kind of in your face if you wanted that option. But we can still do a better job.
Would you start over? I didn't. I know you said it was very simple, and I'm sure it is, but I couldn't hear all that you were saying. Slow down a little bit.
Sorry, that's fair. I need to do a
And
better
from
job
the
of that.
very beginning about the vouchers and everything.
Yes, so it should be a simple process in the sense you go up to the host or register, like everyone has to order or check in, and you'd be like, I want the hot bar. The registered person is going to give you a voucher. It's a little card. Once you get that voucher, you go to your salad bar like regular, or you can bypass it and go to the hot bar. And when you're making your selection, you just give the hot bar employee the voucher. That's it.
Okay. And if I want chicken fingers, what do I do?
Then you would, at the register, order the chicken fingers, and they would give you a number, which they bring the chicken fingers to your table. So you'll either get a number or the voucher.
Do I take the number to the
Table.
to the chicken finger place?
No, ma'am. So you could still go to your salad bar and get the soup or anything like that, and go back to your table and with your number, and the staff will find you with that number and give you your chicken tenders.
I don't know, okay. I have another question. I'm also very distressed about the plastic.
Okay.
What are we doing to our grandchildren? We won't be here, but what are we doing to them? But has there ever been any analysis on whether or not it's cheaper to use the to-go plastic that people throw away, or whether it's cheaper to use the reusable ones in the long run? Has there ever been any analysis of the economies of that? Because I think that might be useful information, particularly if it's cheaper. And that would encourage you all, if the reusable ones are cheaper, that would encourage you all maybe to encourage us to use the reusable
Sure,
ones.
it would definitely be cheaper. I don't think there's been a report that I've been shown or anything like that, but we love that because it's a lot cheaper.
You feel like the
for us.
reusable ones are cheaper?
Say that again?
The reusable ones are cheaper?
No, the reusable ones
Oh.
are more expensive. So, but if they are thrown away, then we are actually kind of losing money in that sense comparatively.
I mean, using them over the long run.
Oh, 100%. Yes, that's going to be
I understand they're more
cheaper.
expensive to purchase, but use of them versus the ones you buy and then have to throw away.
Yes, that is
versus the
definitely
ones-
cheaper for us.
I'm not understanding the answer, but I would encourage you to look into
So
that.
yes, it is cheaper. It would be better for our budget if everyone used reusable instead of the throwaway plastic.
Okay, so it'd be nice if
Easy.
you would encourage people to do that.
Sure, and I can
People
post about that and we
don't
can do a
want
better
to
job.
Shouldn't have to do it. But I have the same problem that Karen does. They grab the plastic and it's in there before you can bat an eye.
Sure, and we can definitely
And
focus
then
on
they
that.
say, oh, well, we'll put it in the reusable one. Well, they don't seem to understand that the point is to save the plastic. It's not the reusable one per se, it's to save the plastic. And once they have put food in the plastic, you know, it's used. It's got to be thrown away or recycled, you know. I'll take mine and recycle.
Yes, ma'am, I agree with you, and we can do a better job, and we can focus on that for sure. Thank you.
Last question for Chad.
And I'll be around afterwards. I'll address anything.
Pass this up here. Here's Dave, for David.
To the issue of recycling, I think the point here maybe should be what is being done to bring back recycling. As many of you newer residents are not aware, we lost that service probably 2 years ago, maybe longer now, because the plastic items that were being put in the recycle barrels were not clean. That was on the residents for not doing that, which to me is a learning process for the residents to aid in being able to bring that back and make a commitment to do what the recycling company said we're not doing. My wife and I'm like the others, I've been recycling, seemed like for 50 years, and do it regularly. I put my bags aside and then take them up to Murrayville to the recycling thing there, just because I don't want to throw it in the trash. So hopefully some effort, Scott, can be made to bring that issue back up and have a maintenance pursue it. I appreciate that, as I'm sure other residents would also.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank y'all so much. I am going to be here afterwards. I'm going to stay for a long time until I address everything with y'all, so thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chad. All right, we're going to move on to fitness and rehab updates with Sherry Wilder, our Director of Rehab and Fitness.
Hello. Like I said, like Scott said, my name is Sherry. I'm the Director of Fitness and Rehab, and I just have two quick updates for you guys. The first one is, I'm sure if any of you have been over towards our area where the rehab department is, you've noticed quite a bit of construction going on in our department, and we've been involved in a remodel of our therapy gym area, and it is now completed. And we are very excited to now have a private treatment room available to us within our department. And with this private treatment room, it will allow us to really work with residents who need a more private area for different treatments. Some of the specialty programs that this can help with are particularly our pelvic health program, where we're talking about a little bit more intimate types of topics, and it's just helps to let you guys have a little bit more comfort when you're discussing certain topics for that specialty program. It is also going to allow us to have a room where if somebody needs a more quiet place to receive their therapy, then we can help facilitate that as well. So we are thrilled with the remodel. Thanks to Scott that this has been allowed for us to have this done. The therapists are also very excited because they have had a little bit of a remodel where they can sit at their desk and do documentation. So it's much more comfortable. And now every one of our therapists actually has a place to sit. So that's exciting too. So if you get a chance to come by, we're happy to show you around, and you can see our new space. The second thing I just wanted to remind everybody is that once a week on Fridays from 12:30 to 1 o'clock, we do have a therapist available sitting in the clubhouse lobby, and that person is there specifically to be available to answer any questions you may have that's regarding therapy services or the fitness program. So just remember that, if you want a more one-on-one interaction and you can't get all the way down to our therapy center, then you can meet with us on Fridays from 12:30 to 1 in the clubhouse lobby. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sherry. Now our last speaker before my update is Stephen Anderson, Director of Property Management.
Good afternoon. I guess the good news is I don't have a lot of news. There's no major projects that are underway at this moment. The clubhouse roof was completed a couple of months ago now. Happy to report 0 leaks in the clubhouse area now. And even better than that, because we came in under budget, well under budget on that, we were able to use some of those overages and got 3 cottages re-roofed in this past week. So that was a pretty good turn of events there. I do have an update also on the crane lift that's coming up for the east building to replace some of the HVAC. I know that's got to excite a few of you anyway. So the crane lift, looks like it will be scheduled for next week. I don't know exactly which date. I'm coordinating right now with the crane operator and Lawson's, our HVAC technicians, to see what day is going to work best. Once I have that update, I'll absolutely be putting that into the link, and then I'll probably reach out to a few of you who will be directly involved with the portion of the building that will need to be evacuated directly. So that will be taking place next week. Everybody here is also probably familiar that Spectrum has been in the building. I guess it has not been the smoothest of processes. There's been lots of confusion, different communications coming out that are not representative of what actually occurred, so that's confusing. The most recent update I have is that they were able to look at all of your accounts while they were on site to determine whether or not your equipment was up to par for the upgrades and the changes that are coming about. So if they came to your apartment, the equipment that was in there needed to be changed out in order to do what they're doing. If they did not come to your apartment, they will not be coming to your apartment, and they are completed. So if you have not seen a Spectrum technician, that's okay. They're not coming. That means that the equipment that was already in your apartment was sufficient for what's going to be taking place. There are plenty of questions also regarding the billing. Unfortunately, I don't have many answers for billing questions other than there's a couple of points of interest that were brought to my attention. Most of us are well aware that they bill a month in advance. So the bill that you pay August 1st is actually for the following month, not for the month that has already happened. So there's going to be more questions than answers that are going to occur. The stop date, I believe, was August 8th. I believe it was August 8th is when the actual changeover is going to occur from the private account into the bulk account. So when that date comes, I'm sure for the next month, there's going to be all kind of chaos regarding billing and credits and all of that good stuff. I don't have any good answers today. I'm waiting on a response to an email that was sent out, and once I get those answers, hopefully a lot of that will work itself out in the kinks. But I will remind you, though, that in the end, when it's all done, it's going to be worth it. It will be worth it. At least you won't have a Spectrum bill. And then finally, my last announcement is just a staffing announcement. I would like to welcome Jeremiah Kay to the maintenance team. Yes, thank you. Yeah, many of you know he was formerly with Lighthouse Communications and has been on property now, I believe, almost 7 years total. He's going to be a huge asset to our team. He's going to continue doing a lot of everything that he was already doing with some low voltage IT, from TVs to pendants and all that good stuff. If you have a need for Jeremiah to come and see you moving forward, please make sure you put in a work order or contact the maintenance department. I would prefer that we not contact him on his cell phone anymore. Now that he is a part of the department in-house, I would like him to have his privacy when he's at home and all that good stuff. I appreciate any assistance you could offer me with that. On the bright side, work orders for him are now streamlined, so we don't have to go through Julia, through Blake, through Jeremiah, and it could take 2 to 3 days to get a work order done. Now that work order is being issued 3 or 4 times a day, just like every other maintenance work order. So if you put one in the morning, the chances are he'll have that work order by lunch and be making contact with you to get done whatever it is that you need to have done. But beyond that, I just wanted to welcome Jeremiah. Yes, ma'am?
I just wanted you to know, Spectrum had sent me 2 cards saying, I just wanted you to know that Spectrum had sent me 2 cards saying that I needed to update my equipment, but they never came to my apartment. So I called Spectrum and I said, explained the situation, and told them I think that they had done a terrible job and that I needed equipment. And so they said, well, you have $350, you could keep it, but they sent me the equipment, and they they were really good. They put my old password and everything, so we didn't have to do everything for TVs.
Nice.
But by calling them, they took care of it, but they should have actually still given me something, so I'm sure there might be a few people.
I'm sure there's going to be hiccups and exceptions for certain. And there's probably a lot of you, and there's probably going to be a lot of you that had a technician that came to your house and all of your equipment probably wasn't working when they left. I'm sure that I could see that happening a lot. If that is the case, please make sure that you let us know. Put a work order in, or get that information to Julia somehow, and that way we can all make sure. I had not anticipated questions, but we will take some.
I understood that they were supposed to replace the router if we have our private router. They haven't been to my apartment, and I do have my own router. Are they supposed to?
Not necessarily your router, but your modem. They would have replaced the modem. It's 2 different things. The modem.
I understand that,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
we understood that if you had your own router, that they would replace it with the Spectrum router, but that's not true.
I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. I just don't know.
Call Julia on that just to get that question so we can get an answer.
One more.
2 more.
2 more. Sorry. Sorry. One second. She came up first. I'm sorry.
Okay. Several weeks ago, when we had a program about the spectrum change, there was somebody from Philadelphia on the TV screen
ma'am.
answering questions. And I asked him, I said, I'm getting ready to move from a cottage to an apartment.
Yes, ma'am.
If Spectrum comes to the cottage, do I take that with me, or do I start all over again in the apartment?
The best I understand, you leave all your equipment in that
What
apartment.
he said was, it goes with you as long as you don't change your name. And then in talking to Blake about moving all my equipment, he's been told I have to start over again.
From what I understand, you were supposed to leave television and modems and all that stuff, like your TV box, if you had a box, all that stuff was supposed to stay, from what I understand.
So-
That may be bad information also. I haven't really had that specific question come to me until now. But I can get an answer for you and let you know. Yes, ma'am.
2 more.
Stephen, what about cottages?
So we're kind of in
Plans for
the cottages are a little bit different because we have to do a little bit more infrastructure in the cottages. There's not fiber optics available out there to all the cottages at this point. So I believe we got some information yesterday. I should have scheduling a little bit later this week as far as when they're going to be coming in. They're going to be going through a major project to bring fiber out to all the cottages. And once that fiber has been completed, then Charter will come and complete their work on that side.
Yeah, we do have a weekly call with the project team on that, and that's the information they gave Stephen today. I wouldn't expect anything later this week because that's only tomorrow. It's probably be early next week.
Well, that's true. That's true. Yes, yeah. Good looking out, Scott. Thank you. Yes.
This isn't exactly related, but I get about, I lose at least 1 out of every 3 phone calls. And I've talked to some other folks here, and there's some other folks that have very poor cell phone service. If there's anything, and I've talked to folks for 6 months now, if there's anything somebody can do to help me out, I'd like to be able to use my cell phone, and my doctor would like for me able to use it as well.
Right. I get intermittent comments that are similar to yours, and I have to determine at this point, I think it's just based on what carrier that you use as to which towers are being used. I have Spectrum cell phone or home phone? Okay, yeah. All right, we had one more? Yes.
I'm with him about the cell phone. I've been here for 4 years, and my cell phone works terribly, and I am really concerned about it. I get telephone calls, they drop it halfway through, it drops it, it comes back, or it just goes away for good, and this has been going on the whole time I've lived here, and if anything can be done about it, I am all for it.
That would probably be out of our hands a little bit. That's going to be up to your cell phone carrier more than likely, but Spectrum cell phones, really? I'll have to inquire about that. I wasn't aware that they provided cell phone service. I'll have to find out.
Stephen, I want to go back to the replacement of the AC on 6th floor east.
Okay.
I believe the first work order was turned in May 7th.
Yes, ma'am.
And in fact, the AC was out before then. It just wasn't 95 degrees outside.
Right.
And I have heard repeatedly it's going to be replaced next week, and then the next week, and then the next week. So even if we count from May 7th, that's May, June, and almost all of July, that we haven't had any common area AC on 6th floor east. The temperatures in the hall average from 80 to 85, sometimes warmer, and the multipurpose room is unusable because it's too hot to stay in there. Is it guaranteed that it's going to be replaced next week? I really expect my AC to work.
I'm not going to be so bold as to use the word guarantee. But
well,
I would put it in the high 90 percentile. I mean, the only thing that would disturb that process from happening at this point is terrible weather, or perhaps some kind of odd scheduling conflict with one of the contractors. But from what I've been told up to this morning, everything should be on schedule. We're shooting for Wednesday or Thursday of next week.
Well, I don't think it looks very good for the AC to have been out that length of time.
Agreed.
Stephen, can you also share what we're doing this time that will help it be quicker next time?
Sure. So part of the process with this crane lift, instead of just replacing the single unit that needs to be replaced that covers that common area, because the crane lift is very expensive and I have to utilize it, I buy it at an 8-hour window. Instead of just purchasing one unit, we are putting 6 units up on top at the same time. So there's 3 different size units that are going on top of the roof because there's 3 different sizes that are on top up there. So we've got 2 of the 2, 3, and 4 ton units that are going up there. So with any luck, over the course of the next few months, if any of those break, all we have to do is have a technician come out and the equipment's already up top waiting on them. So the next time, we definitely should not have this issue. All right, one more question and we're going to keep moving. Yes, ma'am.
I have had, back to the telephones, I have had the same problem for at least a couple of months. And I've had Spectrum. I bothered them so much, they sent me 2 new SIM cards, and that didn't help any. And I've had everybody here working on it. My son told me let's get this straight, because I'm not very technically savvy, to check and see if my Spectrum was on or the guest Wi-Fi was on.
That makes sense.
So I said, okay, it's the guest Wi-Fi. He said, cancel that and you'll have to get Spectrum. So when I canceled that, then my phone calls, it all went to Spectrum, and I got it solved the problem.
Okay, that makes sense. Maybe if you're on the wrong network, the cell phone service works
And
better through the
I
Charter
looked
network.
at my Spectrum bill, and I had a credit balance of something like $285.
Nice. The
Because
dinner's on you
I
tonight?
wasn't using Spectrum.
Very
All
good.
right, Stephen.
Very
But
good.
it's been so frustrating. But try that and see how you feel. And
Very
while
good.
we're talking about billing, would you go over again the part about when Spectrum is changing over everything? You talked about individual billing and then bulk billing. How
Yes.
is that going to work?
Well, basically, that's the whole reason this is taking place, because Lanier Village, or AXE rather, is going to be providing service through Spectrum for you guys now for your television and internet. So it's a bulk account that's going to be billed directly to AXE instead of you being billed individually for that service, with the exception of certain premium channels, or if you had a home phone or things like that, that would be billed directly to you.
Right,
But
thank
the
you.
billing is going to be switching over from your personal account for those services on, I think it was either August 7th or August 8th. It was one of those two. I wrote down the 8th, so I think it's August 8th. But again, everything is billed a month in advance, so I don't know how that's going to reflect on your bill for that billing period or the following, as far as credits and all that good stuff goes. But hoping to get some more info in the next week on that.
All right, well, thank you, Stephen.
Thank you,
And
guys.
Stephen will
Have a
be
great
staying
day.
around as well. I'll be interested to see who has a longer line, Stephen or Chad. Or me, I guess, too. But all right, so here is my executive director update. I'm going to start with an update on the wellness clinic. If you're experiencing COVID-like symptoms, please try to stay away from others and test yourself or get tested. We have had a few cases that continue to around the community. Rapid home test kits remain reliable and widely available. You may be seen in the wellness clinic if an urgent care time slot is available. That came from Angelie. Otherwise, seek treatment with your primary care physician or an off-site urgent care. And Paxlovid isn't as widely available as it used to be, per Angelie again. I go off of what she shares with me. So, Willowbrook Court, COVID again, reminders that for visitors to wear masks in Willowbrook Court, especially during an outbreak, which we are in. An outbreak consists of one positive case. So we're considered to have an outbreak right now. To minimize the spread to our vulnerable residents, and if you feel ill, please refrain from visiting. We've said that for 4 or 5 years now, I'm sure. So we try to stay in your apartment if you're feeling ill until you feel better. Flu vaccines. Flu season is rapidly approaching. Consents will be sent to POAs of residents who need assistance completing the form. Further Willowbrook Court updates, staffing. They're currently looking for a full-time nurse. Nurses, they can be RNs or LPNs. No CNA vacancies at this time. I'm sure that's the first it's been like this for quite some time. Currently onboarding the last few CNAs that were needed to fill openings. We do have a new director of nursing. Her name is Audrey Ellis. She started on July 15th, and she has over 10 years of experience in long-term care, to include being a certified infection preventionist, which is always good to have. She has several years of experience in nursing leadership as well, so if you see her out and about in the halls and notice her name tag, please welcome her. Some life engagement updates. The Chicken Chase update. Lanier Village Estates went from being in the top 25 in the state of Georgia to the top 20 in the state of Georgia for funds raised, so well done there. You caught a day for this that several team members are on vacation. It happens that it's nearing the end of summer when kids go back to school, so several team members weren't able to make it today, but they'll be back in August. Christmas in July, in support of the Samaritan Fund, was a success, and thank you to all who participated and made contributions. Tonight, Billy Joel will be performing, or a couple of gentlemen that perform his songs very well. So tickets are required. I do know it's sold out, but check with the front desk if you still would like to attend. And if you currently have a ticket and are not able to attend, please turn it into the front desk and someone else will be able to attend. But starts at 7 o'clock, and please listen to your ushers. They'll be in black and white, and they're doing their best job they can. And notice I'm in black and white, so I will be here ushering. So treat your ushers well tonight. Some upcoming events. August 2nd, 8 Up with Dixie concert. August 9th, porch-themed concert with John Kelly, complete with a s'mores bar. August 30th, the annual Blowout concert in partnership with the marketing and sales team will be the Eagles cover band. Again, that will be a ticketed event, and be on the lookout on Link and your mailboxes for more information to come. And Calendar 101, be sure to check your calendars regularly so you don't miss out on any fun. That's today's education event. Now moving on to some other information just I wanted to share and just remind you about transfer policy. So if you are interested in transferring from your current home to another home on campus, please submit in writing or email to me your request with an explanation as to why. If approved, you will be placed on a priority list according to the date of your original priority list deposit. The executive director will contact the next resident up if a transferable unit comes available. You will then meet with the business office manager to sign an addendum to your resident contract reflecting cost charges related to the move. And if you are okay with it and you're comfortable with it and you're transferring already, it's been approved, you picked out, it's in the process, it would benefit us if you would allow the sales team to schedule a showing. But if you're not, that's fine as well. We just ask that you consider that. Some leadership team hiring updates. The director of culinary is our main position we're trying to fill and our only leadership team position right now. We've had 3 good in-person interviews thus far, and as of yesterday, we had 3 external candidates that are being screened by the regional director of culinary at this time. We won't be rushing to fill this role, luckily, because we want to get the right person, but we're very thankful for Chad, Daryl, Brian, and their teams for holding down the fort. So thank you, Chad, and the teams. Let's give them applause. Communication, we know that that's maybe the most important thing for all of us as leadership team members to do well with residents. And we're very thankful the link is allowing me to provide a weekly update. Are you finding that useful? Yes. Thank you. Not a ton of incredible information, but it's just, you're hearing from me, you know who's going to be out, so that if they're not responding to you, you're going to say, oh, I remember, they were out that week, and some other things. Stephen has started to do the same, so you're aware of ongoing upcoming maintenance, landscaping, other type of work, so good job, Stephen, and that will keep, both of these we'll keep tweaking them to be the most positive impact for you, the information that's most important without taking up a bunch of space, because that is key as well. You don't want it too long. Some coming attraction, I'm just letting you know, I'll be out Thursday afternoon and Friday of next week. My son is graduating from the University of Central Florida, so that's good news. He's a few years older than I was when I graduated college, but I'm glad he's graduating college. And he's getting 2 degrees, and we'll see where he goes from there with history and anthropology degrees, so more school maybe in his future. Annual community visit and tour taking place on August 7th. So we'll have 10 ACTS leadership team members coming to tour the community. I'm putting a tour together. They'll be meeting with our leadership team. They'll be meeting and having lunch with at least 5 resident leadership team members as well. So that's August 7th. That's taking place. It'll start fairly early in the morning, and they should be off property by about 2:30 or so. And then August 8th will be our annual budget meeting with corporate finance, but that will be on Teams. They won't be here in person. And then I've talked about scams, and I'm going to continue to, and I'm going to share just a short video on scams. And John, the light's up here, or can I do it? Go ahead, okay.
Here with us now is Kathy Stokes, the Director of Fraud Prevention for AARP's Fraud Watch Network. Thank you so much for coming on this morning.
Thanks for having me.
This is terrifying. We've been talking about this in the newsroom. It can happen to anybody. Scams using AIs are popping up everywhere. How common have they become here, Kelly?
Well, ridiculously common, unfortunately. The games behind this are pretty much transnational, but because it's so game now, because of generative artificial intelligence, it can be a single person, again, just buying some access to these tools, buying some lead lists off the dark web, and scaling these attacks.
I'm looking at the screen right now. $33,000, almost $34,000 is an average amount lost by an elder fraud victim. What are the top types of scams and frauds that are currently being reported?
Yeah, there are a lot of them. One of the most pernicious is the tech support scam, where you could be on your laptop and then up pops a notification. It says it's from Microsoft or Norton or somebody, and there's a problem with your computer. Call this number. It's all a scam to get you to pay for something that's not a problem, or they remote into your computer and they access your bank accounts and wipe you out. That's a big one. Personal data breaches is where they're phishing for you, trying to get you to give them information that they can later use to target you in a scam. We've got the romance scams, online, building a trust relationship over time and then deceiving you to send money or launder money. Confidence scams is like what you were hearing with the mother in Arizona. It happens with grandparents as well. You've got non-payment scams where you think of like selling something on a marketplace online and somebody sends you a check and it ends up bouncing, that kind of thing. Or non-delivery, you buy something online and it never comes, or whatever comes is inferior. And then investment scams, which is huge right now. And that can begin with somebody sending you a text that seems to be an error, and you're nice and you respond back and say, hey, you got the wrong number, which begins a conversation, which begins a relationship, which begins a trust relationship, which begins a cryptocurrency investment scam that is destroying lives.
And I just want to stress how common this is, because scams targeting people over the age of 60 can cause over $3.4 billion. That's just last year, up 11%. So what makes this group more of a risk? And you were going to say something, Kelly.
Yeah, I was going to say that 3.4 billion doesn't even come close to telling the story, because fraud is so underreported. A lot of that has to do with people not even understanding it's a crime, people not knowing where to report, people being embarrassed, ashamed. They had a crime committed against them, yet they're embarrassed and ashamed, and they're blaming themselves because we tend to blame them. There's a lot of it going on, and it's only going to get worse.
So is there anything we can do? Can we use technology to help detect these scams?
Well, sure. I mean, there are things that we can do to try to sort of harden the target, if you will. Like, we need to make sure that our operating systems on our devices are up to date, because when you get that patch, it's sometimes because there's a known vulnerability. Same thing with your antivirus software. Strong and unique passwords is a must. We got to get rid of passwords and move on to biometrics or other means of authenticating, because we all tend to use the same or similar passwords, putting all of our accounts at risk. But when it comes to this confidence scam, if you get a call from your grandkid or your daughter and they're in trouble, this is really hard to hear, but disengage. Hang up that phone and make a call to that daughter or granddaughter, or if you don't have the direct contact because it's a grandkid, call your daughter or your son and say, where's Mikey? Is he okay? Hard to do, but I'm going to tell you, in 100% of these cases, it's a scam. Some people say use a safe word, come up with a word, I don't know, lightning strikes or something, so that you can say, hey, Mikey, what's the safe word? The problem with that is that the criminal's trying to get you into a heightened emotional state. And if you're there, you're not going to remember anything about a safe word. But if you know about the scam coming into it, maybe that will help you.
Well, this advice is incredible. We hope you come back. Kathy Stokes, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Go to
So 3.4 billion is way lower than it actually is. So what I need all of you to do is anything. If you have a concern, just come to someone in administration, come to Julia. Let us know about it so we can help. I've personally saved probably 5 to 10 residents from making mistakes. Then who knows, they may turn into $34,000 average like they're saying, but They were going to send money there, and it was grandparent scam, and I said no. And here's what ended up happening. The person on the phone was crying, saying, she even said, Mikey, you don't sound like yourself. Well, Grandma, I'm so upset, and you cannot call Mom or Dad because they're going to kill me. So that's how they get past the, trying to get you not to make any other further actions. But any questions, bring it to us. Nothing, we want to save. We don't want anyone getting scammed. And it's great for team members to share with their family members, and you share with your family members out of state. There's different ones that happen in different parts of the country. So maybe it hasn't come to Georgia yet, but it's happening somewhere else. Well, it will be to Georgia at some point. So communicate what you know and share it with your friends and families. And then with that, we'll open it up for questions. What do you have for me? Great. Good job, Chad and Steven. I'm sticking around too. We got one? Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't see. My arm is short. But there is a scam that I've had recently 3 times, and they say they're from CVS. And they say, you recently had a prescription that was denied, and we will try and fix it for you. So they started with all sorts of things they knew, my address, the CVS across the street, etc. And then they started asking for my Social Security number, and I was thinking, okay, I know it's on file over there. And I hung up. I said, well, since CVS is across the street, I'm going to walk over there and talk to them. They hung up.
Yeah. Great point. Thanks for sharing that. And Stephen didn't mention it, but irrigation, yes, we've had rain, a lot more rain than we had for the last 6 weeks. But it is working as well right now, but it's still being investigated and tweaked and worked on. So I've seen, obviously, it's a lot greener and doing better. So thank you for that, following up on that. Just wait for the mic, please. We don't want to fall.
I'm not falling.
I had understood that the roofing would start on the west wing.
Hold it closer.
Okay.
To your mouth so we can hear you.
And that would be after the clubhouse was done. And I know we've repaired a lot of leaks in the last few weeks.
Yes.
And an update on the schedule.
Yeah, so we don't have a scheduled time yet, but it is approved for 2025. It won't be happening this year. And I wasn't here for that, but it's been approved, money set aside for 2025 for the West.
I don't know
East is following it. East will be likely the next year. That's what our goal is.
Where does the crane go?
Right in front of the east entrance, Stephen said the crane will be placed. I mean, people will still be able to get in and out, obviously, but.
In and out of the building will be shut down temporarily during that crane lift because the old building will be evacuated on that side.
How about length of time, Stephen?
We're hoping for less than 2 hours.
Oh, less than 2 hours. That's amazing if that happens. And we're 90% sure next week.
Is that going to make us all get out of the east building? Is that what you just said?
No, ma'am. Just the section of the building where the crane is at, and I'll have further updates later this week once that plan's in place.
Just the section of the building that's impacted, and Stephen will put out further updates on who will be impacted when we have.
The whole building's impacted if you block off the front entrance.
Yeah. But it's not going to be necessary for the whole building to be evacuated.
How you gonna get in and out?
Go out another door.
There's other entrances and exits.
It doesn't work too well with a scooter.
Let us know if you need help. Yep. Yes.
Thanks, Don. Thank you, Don. Okay, yeah. I'm with a group that plays croquet, and we're trying to reset the croquet wickets because whoever set them last time did a really bad job of it. Is that all right if we do that ourselves?
It's fine if you do that yourselves, yes.
Said yes, I saw.
If you need help, let us know. Yes. All right, I'll be sticking around as well. Enjoy the concert tonight. Be nice to your ushers. No tipping, but have a great rest of your day and weekend.